For generalized anxiety disorder, these are edginess or restlessness. This means you can't settle, you can't be at peace. You're on edge, as we say in English. Tiring easily, more fatigue, that's F-A-T-I-G-U-E, and it's a word for tiredness. So it means that you feel more tired than you might expect given what you've done in the day. Impaired concentration. If something's impaired, that's I-M-P-A-I-R-E-D, it means it doesn't work as well as it should. And your concentration, C-O-N-C-E-N-T-R-A-T-I-O-N, that means your ability to focus. So impaired concentration means you can't focus on anything, or you can't focus your mind easily. Irritability, that's I-R-R-I-T-A-B-I-L-I-T-Y. That means that you're irritable, you're short-tempered, you don't have much patience with other people and things around you. And you might keep that inside, or you might be irritable with those around you. You might, as we say in English, bite someone's head off. And difficulty sleeping. Quite often in anxiety, this is because the mind is working overtime. An anxious mind is not a quiet mind, and it's difficult to calm the mind down in order to sleep. So these symptoms are for diagnosing generalized anxiety disorder and to see whether your experience fits that description. Medication may be the answer in some people's minds, but I don't think that's a great option on the whole, not for anxiety. If your anxiety is acute or extreme, it might be good to take medication in the short term, but in the longer term, few people want to be on tranquilizers or benzodiazepines. There is evidence that in the end, these medications make you more anxious anyway. I'm just thinking about my podcast on idioms last week. Actually, coming off something like benzodiazepines, you would certainly experience cold turkey, shall we say. Most people want to find other ways of solving their difficulty. How do I work as a psychotherapist who uses only words and talking, not medication? How do I work with generalized anxiety disorder? Well, perhaps that's a whole other podcast, but in short, I would tend to do the following things. I would try and find out what has happened to this person in their life that causes them to have such an anxiety-making view of the world. Why do they feel that normal things in the world are unsafe? Sometimes this can be down to fundamental beliefs, which when surfaced, when brought out into the light, are easily dismantled because there's no evidence to support them. But they're beliefs that the person has carried around for a long time. What role did the person's parents play? Were they themselves anxious? Or were they the cause of the anxiety, maybe? Or were the parents overly protective so the person didn't learn to handle anxiety-provoking situations? How did the person learn to fear anxiety? Is there trauma in their history, perhaps? Secondly, I'd want to find out, why doesn't this person have good strategies for managing anxiety? And what do they do instead? So we would also work on better strategies for managing anxiety. Some of those are very teachable. And thirdly, I'd encourage the person to gradually start to do the things that make them anxious. Usually there's a lot of avoiding, and through doing it and finding out that it's okay, the person will gradually learn that these normal things are not that threatening. Often there's no substitute for experience here. Sometimes this is called behavioural work, and it can take quite a long time. So this podcast is an experiment. Let me know if you like this topic, if it's useful for your English language learning and it's interesting too. Maybe you know someone who has generalised anxiety disorder. So give us feedback if you would like more or if you wouldn't. Enough for now. Have a lovely day. Speak to you again soon. Goodbye.